Hello and welcome everyone. So this would be our part 2. We will continue what we did last time and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't really have like anything in mind, but I will just develop stuff randomly and interact with you guys. Like if you have any ideas, if you suggest what I should do, what I should remove, and just let me know, guys. Alright, so just give me 1 second. Make sure this is good. Okay, so we have our project running, and obviously this is not the map that we worked on last time. So this is actually a good chance to get some project settings done. Okay, so just give me 1 second. And it's working. Okay. So we need to set the starting map and the game map. So first of all, I will go to Edit, Project Settings, and then we need to go to where it says Maps and Modes. So for an instance, we are going to first select the main map that we want our engine to start with. So since last time we worked on trying to remember what's the name of the map. Is it Prototype? Yes, it's Prototype. You can clearly see that it says in the primary asset name or the path, it's under game maps, so it's something we created ourselves. So I want, when I start the editor, that's the map that should start, and also when I play, I want it to be that map. Now, we are going to change this in the future, and we are going to select whatever pawn we want, whatever, all of these things that we need. But for now, we'll keep everything as it is because, like, our current status, we don't really need to change anything. Okay, so let me first open that map and see what we have so far. Okay, so we have those basic platforms. We have this one that should be interacting with the card. So the card should be picked up from here. And then we go back in here, we interact with this platform if we have the card. And if we have the card, it will make this one rotate. And that way, we can go and open or trigger this lever. And this lever will make this one move. That way you can move up. Once we go in here, we can trigger this lever. And this lever will do something for us. It will rotate this one, and that way we can do something about it. Okay, so first of all, I remember last time that we created this one. So let's see how that one is working. And if I am correct, this one is doing its job correctly. Like it's gone up and down and everything is good. Okay, and I can climb on that one. And I can go, oops, come on. Ah, okay. All right, so we have this platform is working, but the platform works only when the current status is not set to none. Okay, so by default, we will have this removed. So yeah, we'll have this part removed. Okay. And then, yeah, for a second, I just realized that my camera is not even visible. So give me 1 second. Why is my camera not visible? Okay, let me verify. Are you? I don't think anyone is able to see my camera. This is working, and this is set to not activated. Some reason. Okay, this is not even visible. Something backed up with my camera. Okay, I'm sorry guys. This stream is going without a camera. Let me deactivate it anyways because it's necessary to have it working. While it's not. It's still weird. Oh yeah, here we have it. Now it works. That was funny. Okay. So let's get back and see what's going on. Okay, so everything here is fine, and once this changes, it will start cycling. Okay, so let's try and make things like start making the sequence of events. And the first event that we will do, I guess I can use this one probably. Yeah, because everything in there was baked together. Okay, so let me go back to the modeling tool. So I need to make something, which is I need to get this small section out of the box because I want to have it on a specific blueprint. Okay, so we will start like making things in order. So we'll try to make the system where we can pick up this one, and once we go in here, we can insert it. We won't see anything in the animation, but it's we're going to do like the basic logic for it. Okay. So first of all, I want to turn this into a card slot, and when we go and try to interact with it without having that card, it will simply say you need an item. You don't have an item that you can use, something like that. Okay, so first of all, let me go to modeling tool, and while having that one selected, I need to make extract, not this one and not this one. I think split probably. Oh yeah, I don't think it's split. We need, it's either polycut. Polygon. Yeah, I think we can do this one. Okay. Where? Oh. I'm not really sure about this one, so I will just use this instead. Okay, so what do I need exactly? I need to rotate this on the y-axis 90 degrees and move it until I only see the part where it only has this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is to keep both halves but cut. Then I need to combine, and I need to find where is combine. Merge. Okay, so I think the next thing that we need to do is to select all of those together. And we need to remove that small one, this one, and this one. And oh, okay. So we have another issue. That this one is tied to the one below it. And I think we can use the split in this case. Because like those are not in the same level. We can use by vertex overlap, and that way we will only remove like the top part alone. Okay. And now we can do this one and this one and put them together. Like combine whatever. Okay. And this is all we need. So now this can move separately and this small part can move separately. I mean, the only bad thing about this is sometimes it messes up how the texture is looking, so I think it plays with the UV. So I guess that's fine. Alright, so going back to this, I need this part to be in the blueprint. Okay, and I need this to... We need to be able to pick up this one. So in that case, I'm going to create like something new, which is, I think we can go in the gameplay elements. So this is platform. Yeah, I believe I'm going to use an interface in this case. So BPI interaction. Okay. And need to have it in there. And I'm going to use one function called interact, which is, we'll be using this like across multiple stuff when we press, for example, let's say the common key, which is for interact. So when press E to interact, we'll interact with whatever object that we are in range. And I think I'm going to use like the same BPI or interface to have different interaction like with other actors. So interact usually will be called from the player. Execute will be called like from another actor. Okay. So interact and execute. And I want to convert this into a blueprint. So let me, I think it's in here. So the easy way to create a blueprint from something that is in Word is you go in here and you go into details and you'll find something called convert this actor into a reusable blueprint class that can have script behavior. So that's the one that we are going to use. And this is going to be, we're going to make this of type actor. And we need to call it, I think probably it would be ideal to make like a base or item pickups and stuff. And then we make this one as a child. So let's do that. Let's do something in here called base classes. And I'm going to do, oh, not folder, but rather an actor. And this is going to be pickup. PP pick up. Okay. So usually when we make like a new blueprint, like the way I think about this is usually I try to make think as much usable as possible. So instead of making like multiple pickup, let's say weapon, pickup card, pickup whatever it is, I try to make like the base and then try to inherit from that base and add any extra logic if needed. So for this case, since it's a pickup item, I need to have radius and interact radius or interact sphere. I will add a sphere collision and call this one interact sphere. Okay, and by default, I will try to make this one visible always. So I will make the lines a little bit thick, maybe 5. I guess that's 5 is good. And then I will make the shape into bluish, maybe something like this color. Okay, that's good. Now, when initiating this actor, like the way I usually try to do things, I usually want to make things like reusable as much as possible. So I make a bunch of variables that allows you to modify these things or these actors in the editor. So what are the things that we need to modify the most, for example? So we need to always have a way to access or modify the radius. So I will say set sphere radius. And I sometimes think about this, whether we need to do it or not. I usually turn this off, but we can keep it, I guess. It's going to happen only once. And let me promote this to variable. And we need this to be called interaction sphere. And by default, I would give it a value of 64. Okay. And then I will do something called set hidden in game, and this would whether let us see or make it hidden in the word. So let me do this, promote to variable, hide. So let's say should hide. And if that is ticked, it will be hidden. Now we need the interaction sphere. I just realized that I called it sphere instead of sphere. That's funny. Okay. So we need the interaction sphere to be visible in the word. So it should be instance editable, and this means like we can modify each instance on its own in the editor. And I want it to be read-only because I don't want this to ever be modified in real time. And I want it to be private because I don't want anyone to be accessed. And same would be for the should hide. And if just by any chance in the future we need to spawn this one, we need to spawn it like on demand. We need to change those and add where it says expose on spawn, so that way those values are exposed on spawn as well. Okay, so the next thing, let's put this under category, and usually since it's part of configuration, I always call the category something like config. And let me do for this as well. Okay, now I won't do anything about a specific mesh, but I will try to do some sort of logic where, for example, when we enter this interaction, it tells us things that we can do. So let's do that. Yeah, just give me 1 second. So when we enter the overlap, and let me add another one for when we exit the overlap. And I want to test whether it was the player who entered the overlap. So we can use this method where we can cast to BP third person character, and we can make sure that it's the third person character. But personally, I always avoid this because like it will make it heavily dependent on the character, the third person character. And my idea is always to avoid having like heavy dependency between actors. I will show you like the total the difference between the method with the casting and another method. So really quick, there is something that I'll always check, which is the size map of each actor. And initially it shows that the BP pickup is 54 kilobytes and disk space, and if it's memory loaded, it's 11 kilobytes. So it's very, very, very small. Now imagine, just imagine, I do this kind of casting, cast to BP third person character, and just this cast, because like this cast, if you read it, it says try to access the blueprint class. It may be an instance of, and this will cause the blueprint to always be loaded, which can be expensive. So going from whatever we had earlier, like I believe it was a couple of kilobytes, now we have 104 megabytes in memory, and in disk 200 megabytes. And this like creates the hard coupling that it's always better to avoid. So the way to do this is not by casting. The better way, or at least that's what I think. The better way to do this is usually by getting player character. And this will work just for the case where we are working not on replicated or multiplayer game, because this player index 0 is always like the regular player that it's playing. But if we are playing in multiplayer, this will be very bad. This wouldn't work. It should be like a different method. But yeah. Okay, so we need to do a comparison. Okay. And then test whether it was the player who interacted. And if it is the player, then we will do like a very specific thing. Okay, and this will create more or less the same result with what we did earlier. And let's see the size map. It's basically unchanged. So it was around 54, I guess, and now it's 67 in here, and in memory it's 14 kilobytes, and it was around 11, I believe. Okay, I need to verify something really quick. Okay. Now, if the player has interacted, I do a small print here. Player print. Okay. Now I will go back to this because I need to create something from that. And I need it to be child actor of, can I find it in here? BP pickup. Oh yeah, it's in there. And this should be BP pickup cart. So basically we lost like most of the values, but let me reset that. And let's do this. Oh, okay. This is not what I expected, but yeah, let's do this differently. Let me add a cube. Okay. And let me put those values there. And it should be the same as it was before. Okay. Let's try to play and see what is going on. I almost fell. I'm not paying attention to this. Player entered, player left, player entered, player left. So we need, when we get near it, like around here, we get like something that says pickup item or pickup card. Okay, let's do that. So I'm thinking that would make like some UI, and yeah, we need like a bunch of reusable UI. Let me use something like this. WBP. Yeah, I guess we'll be using this a lot. Okay, so I usually start with an overlay. And then it's fine. And then I will do like two things. First one is insert a key. So text. Key. And I believe we probably need to wrap it around dental box. Okay. And this should be the text. And then let me do description text. And I want to justify this, make this upper, and I want to also make this to upper, but I want to change the font to italic. Okay. Okay. Now I want to call this something like interact, and this, let's say, pick up. To pick up. Like in this, I think I'm going to go with to lower to make it like small. Yeah, maybe this would work better. Okay, and let's add a little bit of styling. So thinking about something a little bit rounded. So First of all, I want to add a small padding to both of those. And I will go with 12 by 6. Is 12 on the sides and 6 up and down. And then I want to add a box for this one. And probably something that is inclined for the entire thing. Okay, so let's suppose that the interaction should be black and that one should be white. So I want to wrap this with the border. Okay, and I need to remove the border padding of the border. Okay, and then I need to do a border for the entire thing. Not a button, but a border. Wrap with a border. And I will do the same thing. Okay. Now, I want this to be... I'm thinking of what colors we can use. So maybe we can use black for this one, for the writing. Let me turn that to black. Okay. And then we can use the color of this one to be black. Okay. I guess it's decent. And then something I want to do is to make some sort of, make this one a little bit rounded. And I need to add okay. Maybe I will add like something like that. This should be in the middle. And I want to make this one, instead of being a border, but change it to a rounded box. And instead of going like that, I will make it something like this. Maybe. I think I can go a little bit more. Maybe 8. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. Now the next thing is to do this border, and I need to also make it into a rounded box. And I mean, so far this also looks good, but it's not the best. So yeah, let me just think a little bit what I need to do here. So I also don't like it to be like that. Let me do maybe 30, 30, 30, 30. It's a little bit too much. Maybe about 50. 15. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, and now I want to make it like italic, maybe. Maybe italic is the correct thing to do it. Because why not? Transform. I want to shear it a little bit. Maybe something like this. This minus 12 is nice. And then go to this border and do in the shear 15. And that way we keep this one from being... Wait. What's the shear value? So, minus 12. So we need to use the same value. That way one is straight and the other one is inclined. And I'm not really liking how it's looking. I will try again to put it to upper. Maybe instead of bold italic, let's do light. regular. Yeah, I guess this is good. I think probably we need a little bit more on the edges. So let me see what I can do about that. Okay, so on the edges, we'll do 0, then maybe 15. Oh, that's top, so let's do 15, 0. I'm kinda liking it. Yeah, looks good. This to me looks good. Desired should look something like this on the screen. Now let's expose these variables so we can change those whenever we want dynamically. And I need this one, set text, need to use that one, and let me call it okay. And this one for the description, let's call this disk. Okay, now I want this to be instance editable, blueprint read only, expose on spawn, and private. Same goes for the keys, or for the key. And I need to do a little modification for the key. So format text, and whatever we get in the key should be converted. So let's do this, then key, then this, and we enter that in there. Now it looks the same, except for description is empty. Now let's set the default variables for those. This is E, and this is, let's say, interact. So this way, if we look again, this is what we are getting, and something is missing in here, which is the last part, and this should fix it. Okay, so far so good. I need to also find a way to modify the font size. So yeah, let's see what we can do about that. Okay. Font, set font. So we can get the font. And set number on slate, and we need the size. So the default size is 24. Is anything? Okay. Same goes for this one. Let's suppose I put this to 18, just out of curiosity. Okay, so the way to modify that one, I need to set font. Leave now. Everything should be okay. Why did it change? Okay. Now let me copy this and do it again. And let me have this. This so we can modify it from anywhere. And just wait a minute. Font. Should be in here. Okay. This way it looks way cleaner and easier to follow. Okay. So currently it's 18. But if we change this to something like 24, 36, I don't know, 80, I'll always be able to fit that. I'm like an 18 for now. Something I'm not liking that the roundness of this, like once we get very small values, this won't become very good. So this was a good value for 24, I guess. So what if we make like some sort of ratio? So the size of the object will more or less control everything else. Okay. So 24. First thing first. 24. Okay, we have a lot of things to modify. But yeah, let's keep the polishing for later. For now, we can use this. Okay, I want the actor to create that for me. So I will do this one. Widget direction. And so for testing, I will do something different here. Okay, let me extract object from class, and I need to construct one widget. And let me do all of those values. So this one key, promote variable, Let me do a category called under config to widget, and let me add everything in there. Config widget. This one should be under config widget. Now this should be modified in the Word. Same for this one. And same for this one. Then this will be an object, so we can do something like set widget. Oh, I can't really set the widget class like this. Oh. Let me think if there is another way to go around this. Add class. Set widget. Okay, I never thought this was possible actually. Okay, sounds good. I'll be using that one. Oh, this one. We don't even need the tick. Okay. So, if we get in here, we should be able to see that one. I guess this one doesn't have anything set. Oh, it does. So why can't I see it? Oh, okay. Okay, I can see it in here, but I can see it in the Word. Very nice. Okay. I will add something really quick in here in the construction script, and I want to add like a variable where this should be located, where that should be visible. And yeah, just give me 1 second. So let me do set relative location. Should be okay. Where is that variable? Let's put it under config widget. It's in here. So yeah, I can do something like this. Maybe let's do 40. Good enough. Now I noticed that it's very big, but it's not something that I'm sure how it's going to look like when we play the game. There is one more thing I need to change. I want that to look, to change that into screen size instead of set screen space, widget space. And I need this to be screen space instead of word space. And I'll show you why. Oops. Okay. I'll do something really quick here. I need this. We'll start from wherever my camera is. Okay, where is it? Why you can see it? Okay. Is it probably because of this? Okay. Something is weird here. I'm assuming this idea didn't work. Setting it like this didn't work. I'm still just assuming. I will do something in here really quick and get widget. And if it has any widget, if this is valid, I'll just print whether that's valid or not. Print and does have widget. Then let me take from it's false. It does not have any widget. So basically, this didn't work. Maybe I need to do it again. Perhaps. Collapse into function. Extract widget. I mean, I probably don't even need those. Just copy those. So that instead of having anything. Let me call extract widget. See whether that worked. True. Now it has switched. Okay, so this was helpful like for a very specific thing if we need to see how the widget is looking. It doesn't really matter because once we change it, we can't control that anymore. I want to see it in here because once I play, I have like more or less general idea of how it's looking. And like the only two problems with using it like that and using the different kind of widget is simply that using it the other way will allow us like to see it always facing us, and that's what we really want. Why do I have oh, it was different construct. Okay, so this one is okay, and we need this one in here, and this, and basically I don't need any of those anymore. Let's see how that looks. Now this will be visible only when we get near it. So I'm liking how it's looking. Don't really focus about how it looks like away, because by default it should be here. When I constructed I will do this in reverse. Where is that thing called hidden game? Need to be hidden game by default. Okay. And I don't want that one to generate overlapping events. To see this one. Yeah, it should be no collision at all. I don't need it. Oh. Okay. Now, once we enter that zone, first thing I want to do is to set hidden in game. And here I want to hide it. So when we enter the zone, I want it to be visible. But when we get out, I want to hide it. So let's see that in action. Okay. Look at that. I'm happy with that. Okay, what is the next thing that we need to do? Okay, the next thing we need to do is to trigger the interaction. And I think the best way to do this is to start like making our own thing. So instead of let me just think a little bit. Yeah, let's do the core mechanics. So we can do a core under core, but we're going to make the base. I'm going to call these things a game because like it defines the game. And those things would be things like player controller, and game mode, game instance, add, this kind of stuff. So I will first create a player controller and I'll call it BP controller base. And I always like the name convention base because just in case in the future I need to make like a child of it, I know that which one is the one that I created. And since I created this one called base, I will start to move things around. So I need to open my third person character and I will move some of the logic in here. So the first thing that I want to move is let me think. So this idea where I add the mapping. I don't want the mapping to be added on the player, but I want it to be controlled by the controller. So let me see if there is like a convenient function for that. On possess. I think this make a lot of sense. So when I possess, when the possess happen, I want to add the player control, but this wouldn't be very good because you might do multiple possess. Now you target on reset, on touch, on begin input, on destroyed, on end plate. Initially I will do it here, and then if we needed to change it, we will change it later on. So to add the input, we need the enhanced tab system, and I'm not sure if it's this one. It's basically one of this one. I think it's this one. Yeah. And what I want to do is add input context. And we need to add this one, the default one. And remove this logic because it's not needed anymore. And we made sure we added that one. Now I want to add one action. And this action will be like interact. So let me do that. IA interact. And this is going to be similar to a jump, so let me inspire from that one. Let's see what we are using. We are using digital boolean and it has press and released. I'm not really sure about the triggers if I'll be using the same thing. I'm sometimes thinking maybe just a tap would be enough. Yeah, I guess just a tap would be enough. Okay. Hold down, hold and release. Let's do a tap. Or yeah, let's do a tap. Let's modify the tap to be a little bit quick. So we press really fast. I guess 0.2 seconds is fine, but I always prefer to have it 0.1, and that way it goes really fast. And I want this to happen on the player controller, so I will call IA interact, and before doing this I need to add it to the context. So let me add that to the context. Press. It's missing the interact. I want the interact to happen with the E. And that's all for now. So when the interact happens, get overlapping tools. Just give me 1 second. I need to find overlapping actors. So this work in here, but it doesn't in. I believe if I take it in here, I can use it in here as well. And initially, like I do this on the controller simply because if we changed like the character that we are using, the interact will work with whatever character that we are using. So get overlapping actor, and I will do for each. I will go through all of them, and I will see if does object implement interface, which is BPI interact, and if it does, I will simply call interact on it with this message. I can just do the call for the interact without the test, but this is another security check just in case. And let's test whether that is working or not. I will do for the pickup add the class because it's not, or add the interface API interaction, and I only need interact. Once I interact, called. Let me print that this is called. Maybe it's better to say interact called, and then destroy actor. Destroy her. Okay. So let's do this again. I do from here, nothing happens. Okay, wait a minute. Something is not right. Oh, we're not using this one. So I need to assign that player control to the game mod. I'm using this one, and I need to use my controller. Save everything. So E doesn't do anything in here, and I fall. Very funny. E doesn't do anything. E doesn't do anything. E doesn't do anything in here as well. Okay. We need to verify something really quick for that interaction sphere. I need to check the collision for this one. Generate overlapping events. So it does. And it overlaps everything. Step one, no. So this should be enough. But for some reason, it's not getting this. Yeah, I need to verify whether we are finding any. So print. Let me do it like small print. And need to do an append. And actors. So found 0. Here also we found 0. So it's not actually overlapping. Okay. Well, what you can do is just get player. Can we do something like get pawn? Oh wait, it has no filter. So yeah, we can just do this. It's not getting any of the actors. I believe if we do get on maybe or character. Oh, not this one. What I needed to do here. Probably this will make it work. So let's test again. Okay, that one worked. Right. I guess we figured like what was the issue and we fixed it. This is good so far. And I guess like the first section is more or less done. It's more or less done. It's not completely done because we need something that is very important, and we need to make like to register that we picked up this. So let's do this a task for the next time. Register actor to pick it up after this 24. So this is what we need to do in here for the next time. Okay, so here I guess we reach the end of the video, and just give me 1 second. Here we reached like the end of the video, so thank you guys for watching and catch you next time. Bye bye.